Hello folks, Sam Owens here, and I've got something for your entry door to your home. This is a smart door lock with keypad and deadbolt. It is really nice, and there's 4 different ways of opening it. Let's look at what you get. First, you get some information, some warning stuff. You do use an app with this thing, or it's possible to use an app if you want. Also, if you're installing a brand new door and you're cutting the holes, there's a template here that will allow you to prepare that brand new door with the proper size holes and locations. That's a little template there. But for the folks that are just replacing that old basic lock that you have or deadbolt, this manual is going to show you the details of how to do that, plus I'm actually going to do it. Alright, you start out right here. You get the smart cards. You can program this. There's 2 of them that you just wave it in front of the lock, and this is the exterior part, the entry side with the keyboard. You just hold it up there and bam, it's programmed to open. You get a set of keys if you want the old-fashioned. That's it. You can push it in and then you lock it. If you need to pull it out, you pull it out a little way, and there's a little detent right there. Some of them you give it a full twist, so this is a little different. This is if you have a long one, and you'll see, you're going to measure, this should fall in the center of the door opening. You get some hardware here. This is the external lock portion. This will go on the outside of the house, and this will pass through the door, and then this is the connecting power to go to get the power from the inside portion, and we'll demonstrate how that works. This is the part that goes on the inside, and this is where you'll have the manual turn, plus you have a little button here you can press and it will lock the door for you automatically. This is where this plugs in. As you'll see, when we mount this, we'll plug that in, and right here is a very important switch, and there's a R and an L, and we'll go through that when we get to the door. But basically, you go to the outside of your door. If the hinge is on the right, then you're going to want this switch and the R. If it opens where the hinge is on the left, then you're going to want to put that to L. And if you get it wrong, the bolt isn't going to work, because the lock is all turned around on the different settings, so it's very important to get that right. But the best way is to be on the outside of the door, and then just look which way is the hinge, on the left or the right. You're going to need a screwdriver, number 2 point. That's all the hardware you've got, and it's best not to use a drill, because you can actually strip this out, because this just doesn't need to be that. Get a manual screwdriver. Let's go to the door. Here's the hole, and there's the end where the latch is going, and the striker is going to go over against the wall. Okay, the first thing it says is install the latch and striker, and the latch is right here. And they're showing to look at this, twist the latch and adjust the bolt length as shown, and they're showing the different dimensions, and right here they're showing what it should look like and what it shouldn't look like. And then there is the striker that mounts over the hole there. And we want to have this like this. It says make sure the positive right there is down at the bottom like this. And on the other side, it'll say up. So that is the way it's supposed to go in, and not like this. Just like this. And now we'll check the dimensions by sticking this in here and see it fits right in. And if you'll notice, the hole right there, the plus, is right straight in the center. And what I do is put them right here. And screw these in. Okay, either way is correct. And you just put this in, and I'm just going to do one of the screws first. This will go right in there. And don't tighten it up until you get the other one in. Now, once you've got those in, this should be flush and not sticking out, and that also in the screws. Then make sure it closes all the way without binding. You may have to chisel out if yours isn't working exactly right. Okay, here we are going to install the exterior assembly right here, and they're showing how the cable will go underneath the latch, and you put it in with the bar horizontal. Route the cable, then we want to mount this with a couple of screws, and what we do is we put the rubber end like this. Let me just see if I can, yeah, it'll stay there. You want to have these all ends snapped in, and it'll only go one way. That's the back. And then you put this through the square hole. This goes through the square hole. Now we're going to put some screws in right here, and what I can do is just hold this and pull on this, and there should be two little rods sticking in there, and if I don't know where they're at, I can pull this away and look, and if you get down you can actually see where they are and line it up and put them right in there. And once you get it started a little bit, there. And it's a good idea to hold on to this, pulling, so it doesn't push out the other side. And I'm not going to put it in tight because I have to get the other side in, but I'm just going to get it started and then finish it up later. Look down in there and I can see where the screw shaft is that it screws into. And there, a couple of threads, and then you'll be able to finish it. Okay. Now here, this is the next part. We're going to mount the interior portion, and this should be pointed down. If you look at the picture of the main blowout, they're showing this pointed down, and then what you're going to use is these two screws to screw into here, and you take the battery case off, and so you're going to mount a screw there and a screw down there. These are the two short ones. So I'm going to put those over there, but the first thing is we need to take this, making sure that it's through the square, and you'll see it would be hard. And this is just the way it goes, like this, and this snaps in place. You'll hear it snap. There. And to release it, if you needed to take it out, you push right here and then pull. See how that releases it? Not on this side, but down here. But it's latched right now, and everything is set. So now what you can do is push this back in. There's plenty of room down in there that you can do that like this. Then line this up with that in the flat horizontal position, and just go right on in, just like that. And it should just push right in. Line it up on the gasket, and it should fit inside of this little gasket all the way around. But before you do, you want to make sure, and I see that I need to, make sure that this is straight and that these are tight. So look around this way, and that's straight, because you don't want it cockeyed, and we're going to tighten them up right here to be sure. So I'm going to hold up here and make sure I got her tight because you can't tighten them after you put the front cover on. Okay. And I do it firmly. Okay, there. And now this does not move. So now, go and push this in carefully. Line it up. Then line this up inside the gasket. All the way around, checking. Then you take one of your short screws right here. And you give it just a firm tightness. You don't want it loose. Perfect. Then check the front and let's see how it looks. Yes, perfect. Okay, now we're going to put a key in and test the mechanism. Look at there, it goes all the way in and out. And also here. So everything works that way. Now I'm going to push it. What it is, and I have a different latch for my other lock because the latch is hitting right about here on the edge of this. So I'm going to take this off. The answer would be with my file or Dremel is cut out some of this. You may have to do this. You may have to adjust this opening a little bit. And right there, it's hitting real tight right there. This is the one I had for my other lock. And you see, it's much longer and it fits down a little bit further. And it's just perfect for what I need, so we're gonna use it. And this is the one area you may have to adjust on yours. And what you have to do is have the bolt out and get down to the side, and you can see how it may be riding low and you may have to chisel that out. But that'll be what you will need to do. But this works. Hey, and if your old one, if you can use it, just go ahead. You might try it before you change to the new one. So I pull this in and it moves smooth. See, right there. So that was it, it was this right here was hitting low on this, rubbing like that. So the answer would have been to grind that out a ways if you wanted to use that. Okay, now AA batteries, and you just pop these in and they just kind of zigzag back and forth, making sure they're in flat. Okay, and then you slide the cover on and it'll snap in place and it should be smooth all the way around. There we go. Now, I did experience a little trouble. One of my batteries did not get seated quite right and I didn't have any power and I couldn't touch this and get the display panel to light up. So one test to see if you have power right away is just to push this button. See, that locks and it says locking. And that'll show you that you have power to the unit and we can go through programming. They left out a pound sign in here which was messing me up. So let me program this. First I'll show you before I do how we open the lock. This is my programming code. This is one user code and another user code. Let me lock it, and to lock it, right here is the lock. Okay. Now it's locked And now to open it, I would just use one of these codes. Let's just do
verification failed.
I messed up. Okay, and now I'll use this other code. 5, 6. See? Okay, now we're going to program this, and I'll show you the programming. What you do is you start out with the star.
Please verify the administrator.
Okay, my administrator code.
Please register user.
Okay, now I just push this.
Successful registration. Please register user.
Okay, let me do the next one.
Successful registration. Please register user.
Okay, I can cancel it, and now I'm out of it. Now I'm going to use this. It's locked, and now we're going to come up and perfect. And I have another one. Okay. You see, it's pretty easy, but if you don't put that in, you will not get it. I don't know why they missed that, so I'll have to tell them that you've got to register this each time you register a code. Here, I'll just put a code in just to let you see that. Okay, so what you do is go
Please verify the administrator.
verify administrator.
Please register user.
Register a user. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Please enter your password again.
They want it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Successful registration.
Successful registration. Now let's lock it, and I'm going to try it. 1, 2.
Please enter your password again.
Uh-oh. Let me do that again. Okay, I hadn't finished out with the star. Okay, I think you play with it a little bit and you'll have her down pat. Okay, now let me lock her up one time so I can just push here, hold it, and it's locked. Okay, if you look up underneath, right about here, it's close to the base. You push up and you'll feel a click, and then you hear click, click, counting down the 5 seconds, and then it will initialize and you can start over. So you can play with it, and then you can change everything if you want to go back and reset it. It's a great lock, simple, and you can play with the user code and or the app, and you may find some fun with that.